guys, to another episode of Batman Arkham Knight. I know this is the second one in one day, but I kind of had nothing else to do, so this is what I'm going to do here. Play another episode. Wow, 35% through the game. Okay then. Okay, I'm gonna pick a new suit for this episode. I'm gonna go with the Keaton suit. And yeah, we're gonna start here. So I'm gonna stick away from doing any main missions in this episode. It's gonna be specifically side missions, as story is about halfway through, just about. As like a quarter of the missions you have to do in a row. You can't wait on. You have to do them all at once, and I don't want to do that, obviously. So let's see. Oh, actually, 38%. However, again, counting the cloudburst, which is not far from here. That's actually a lot, so we're gonna stay away from doing that, and we're gonna do beneath the surface.
Bruce, you've got a problem, a big one. You heard of Iron Heights, the prison airship? Yeah. Well, it just fell out of the sky, crashed. Gotham Bay. You could have casualties or escapees.
Meet me there.
Yeah, there's probably gonna be a lot of episodes from now on being specifically and mostly side missions. Okay, so we gotta get the Batmobile up here, it looks like. And power that junction box somehow.
It came like 5 days early.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, did we do it tonight?
Nah.
No?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I have something to do.
I know there's a way up here because I'm doing this one. Oh, I completely forgot about this one.
What will young Barbara reveal about
Oh, dang it.
What secret can I hope from her ever-intricate mind?
Yeah, I did see the reveal event. I gotta say, that new Spider-Man game looks really, really good. Graphics are really nice. Definitely exciting. Yeah, tell me about it. I'm thinking that it's probably going to get shown off with that, did I already do this? I think so. I think it's probably going to get shown off, on, was it the 23rd of August? Something like that. They're having a reveal event for something. At least that's what DC is doing. They're having some type of live stream that they're going to air. And they're saying it's gonna be Batman. If you ask me, though, it's probably just gonna end up being some Teen Titans mobile game or something. I don't see why they would reveal it then, but I hope it exists. I think some people say that for a fact it exists. If you ask me, I still don't think we've seen exact proof. And a lot of the teaser that they showed off could have been literally anything, so I don't know what to say about it. We just think it's Batman because a lot of the things they showed off are Batman. Yeah, I know. It's always mobile games. Always. Games like 4 people play, it's always what they try to get your hypes up for, because they think that's what people want nowadays, when it's not the case at all. I don't play 90% of them, so... I played a Contest of Champions for a bit, but... I don't play it now. Crazy that game still is still around. That was around like 5 years ago.
Alfred, I'm going to investigate.
Longer than that, actually. Yeah.
One of the missing fire crew is being held near Grand Avenue Station. I'm going to get him back.
Plan your attack, sir. Multiple sentry gun placements have been detected.
Oh, yes! Yeah, that Suicide Squad mobile game was really good. I remember that. 4 years ago, something like that. Yeah, I remember that. I forgot what it was called. It was really good. I think it was like... I don't remember the title, but that was really good. Yeah, I played that. There wasn't much you could do in that game, though. Like, I think I remember, I was waiting for them to update and add other characters to the game. They never did. Yeah, Special Ops, that's what it was called. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, everyone thought it was a console game, and it wasn't. Yeah, because I remember there were rumors for a console Suicide Squad game for forever, and it just never happened. Let me actually see if anything happens here. Oh, I got killed mid-cutscene. Alright. Yeah, they were saying that, like, oh, look, it's a new Suicide Squad game.
It's our city now.
When it just never was. I don't know. I didn't think that would make sense anyway. I don't see that ever happening. Back when the movie came out, there was a slim chance. Nowadays that it's impossible. I think to be honest, I think a Green Arrow game is more likely. I doubt it. I still doubt it's gonna happen. If any Arkham spinoff is gonna happen, it's gonna end up being Superman. If it's a non-Batman related character. But if they're gonna do an Arkham spinoff, it's gonna end up being probably, I would say, Nightwing or something like that. Yeah, a Green Arrow game would be amazing. I think that would have a lot of potential if they made it. I hope that would be really good, because I feel like it'd be really similar to the Arkham series in many ways. But yeah, tie-in games are pretty much fun. I mean, there's mobile tie-ins, but they're not the same. They're way worse than what they used to be, if you ask me. Like, they don't even try on those tie-in games nowadays. They're just like, oh, let's reskin Temple Run for the 8 millionth time, just add Batman to it. Or maybe not Batman, but, you know, Minions or whatever. Yeah, that... Oh, really? I'll have to look that up.
Oh, detective.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that game. I'm really nervous about it. I don't know. I'm worried that they're gonna half-ass the campaign and the rest will be online.
But your feeble resistance makes a pleasant change from the instant capitulation of everyone else.
There's a Batman Temple Run game. No, God, no. Oh God, no. Yeah, I can't find the screenshots for that on Google, but I'll take your word for it. I would think they would add Hawkeye eventually, but I don't get why they would put Miss Marvel instead of Hawkeye, if you ask me. I mean, sure, she's kinda popular, but I've never read her book. I don't really have a desire to either. Not gonna lie.
Hurry along, Dark Knight. This isn't rocket
It's like,
science.
it's one thing if you're gonna not include Hawkeye and only just go for 5 Avengers. It's a completely different thing if you're gonna replace Hawkeye with a character that's not even in the MCU yet, and isn't even an Avenger. I think it's a champion or something. So I don't even know why you would. Captain Marvel would be better from the Captain Marvel movie, if you ask me. I'm talking Carol Danvers, by the way, if they really have to include another female. That's what I mean by that. Because it's on the Twitter. Alright, okay, is a comic. Okay. That makes sense. Alright. There was several Lego sets they made from the Avengers game. At least they look like it. And those had Hawkeye, War Machine, Captain Marvel, Black Panther. Those are all in those sets. MODOK is in one of them. Nick Fury. A lot of characters that were rumored are now pretty much confirmed. And those, I'm trying to think who else. MODOK had already leaked before then. Oh, Red Skull, I think, if I'm correct. Which is make perfect sense. Yeah, they look really good, especially for quarantine and stuff. I might actually have to buy one of them. I don't even really collect Legos that much, but I really like those. Specifically that helicarrier, I really like. Oh, Loki, that was another one they showed off, which wouldn't surprise me if he was included in the video game at all. In fact, I thought he was going to end up being the villain because it's always him. It's either him or Thanos nowadays. They don't really come up with many different Avengers villains.
I can't leave.
They have so many different options, but they always go with those two.
More cabinets. Great. I love this part.
Yeah. I think a lot of times they just select random characters. Like oh, Falcon, that was another one that leaked. I think a lot of them they're just choosing random figures to add to their sets that they haven't done in years. Yeah, I'm thinking that what they're gonna do is with the heroes they're gonna add DLC story packs, and that's gonna feature
Do you think he's
more villains and stuff. So I'm thinking, for example, Red Skull will be a DLC character, and I think a lot of these are early DLC concepts. I doubt all of these characters will end up in the game. I'd actually be surprised if War Machine is a character that they actually put into the game, because I think he'd be more of a skin for Iron Man, maybe a couple upgrades.
another key collected?
But I could be completely wrong, and you know. Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. So my best guess would be Red Skull will be added with, say, Falcon or something, since I guess that's the closest Captain America character I could think of. So I don't know what they'll do. I just hope their DLC stories again aren't rushed or anything like that, and I actually hope that they have time put into them, because it really looks like this game is going to be 90% online content, and it's going to have a really mediocre story that is basically more of a tutorial over an actual campaign.
Another of my riddle rooms is waiting.
Which always annoys me. That's basically what 90% of online games campaigns are nowadays, are just tutorials. They're not even like actual, they never work on them. They just rush them pretty much.
The citywide scan has picked up one of the militia APCs. I am relaying its location to
Like
you
Call of
now,
Duty campaigns, for example. I mean, they used to always be pretty good for the most part. I mean, the original Modern Warfare and stuff, they were really good, and then nowadays it's like, oh well, we gotta include a campaign in there somehow, so they'll just add something random. Yeah, I agree. That would be really cool. It'd be cool if they had like a Ronin skin for Hawkeye or something. Yeah, they're not very good. They didn't even have one in Black Ops 4. Which you could debate if that's a good or bad thing. I'd still rather a shit campaign over no campaign at all, though. So, because that you can tell that was rushed. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. After the Modern Warfare series went out, it was kind of like, it was hit or miss. I mean, the Black Ops games were pretty good, at least 1 and 2 were good, and then just the rest were, yikes. I mean, some would even debate Modern Warfare 3 wasn't even that good. I thought it was okay. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this Avengers game won't be an online game with a campaign added to it, just to satisfy people like me that want to see story and don't really play online games that much, unless they're playing with their friends. So I'm really hoping that this won't be, oh, pay $60 for a mediocre online game that doesn't even have any free roam to it. At least GTA Online still has the free roam. Yeah. I never even bought it, to be honest. A lot of my friends play a lot of zombies, and
Alfred, I'm going to investigate the crash.
I never even bought it to play zombies with them either. I don't even think the zombies maps looked that good. So that must say something. Because take it, I thought Black Ops 3 zombies maps were pretty good for the most part. I mean, if you ask me, I think Shadows of Evil is actually a really good map, but not many people agree with me on that statement. But you know, I couldn't play Black Ops 4. I had no desire to pay 60 or even like $30 now for it. They could have at least made a story that was like, you know, an even worse version of Black Ops 3, which wasn't terrible or anything, but it wasn't good. Really didn't make much sense either. Yeah, my fingers are crossed over this Avengers game. I have high hopes that it'll be really good. Yeah, same here. I don't really play it that often. Same. I haven't even touched Red Dead Online. You know, I like something that took a lot more time to make over something that they just made in a couple of weeks. I mean, maybe that's being a little too harsh on these online games, but I really feel like they didn't work that. They really rush a lot of these online games just to get them out by a certain date. Yeah, I agree. If you grind on a lot of video games, it gets old. So I feel your pain on that one. I really hope that they don't just, I hope they make it different. And if it's gonna be mostly online game, at least make multiple game modes and at least make them fun. If they're just multiple horde modes, I doubt me and my friends are gonna play this game for very long. Because luckily some of my friends are getting this game, so it's not like I'm gonna have to buy it, play a shitty campaign, and get done with it after a couple of days. You know, maybe at least the online mode will be fun. I mean, I gotta say, the only online game I actually play and enjoy is Battlefront 2. Which, again, is mostly biased, I guess, since I'm a big Star Wars fan, but that also probably adds to how much fun I have with that game. Sure, Fortnite has, you know, DC characters and stuff, but I mean, you gotta pay $20 for them. Just because your game is free doesn't mean you need to make skins overpriced. You know, so it's a total thing on that statement. I hope they don't add too many skins for the characters. Yes, Civil War game mode would be really nice. Civil War game mode, that actually sounds really cool. Good thinking there. You take a good amount of your friends and just fight. That would actually be really nice. Yeah, I don't blame you. That game took me, I don't know, how long has Battlefront 2 been out? 2 years? 3 years? Taking me that long, and I literally just hit max rank. So, yeah, it's a hard one. Especially because it's not like a game I actually see myself playing, you know, 24/7 to get a grind done. A lot of my friends, they play video games and they won't get sick of them until they find something else. I mean, even a game that I can play all day, like Batman Arkham Knight, for example, I still I still couldn't play it for months straight. Yeah. I'm a high-ranked Vader, and I feel bad for most players that go against me because a lot of times it's really easy for me to play the game. However, my one friend, he got the game in like April, and he's already almost rank 50, so take it. I'm older now, so I've gotten a lot better at the game. Yeah, because when I first got the game, I was terrible at it. Now, it's easy. We play a lot of Hero Showdown, so we're basically sweats at it. And we get it done, we get matches done really quick.
Taking the warden, why not just kill him and escape?
Maybe he likes a long hunt?
The prison.
Thank you.
I need access.
Good luck.
I'll find you.
Got it.
Master Bruce, it appears when the airship crash-landed, 2 guards did indeed parachute to... Of course.
Maybe my new favorite skin in the game, actually. At least one of them. I really like this skin. I've hardly used it. It's not even like I'm the biggest fan of the Michael Keaton movies. Or anything. Specifically the 1989 movie, because this is what the skin is.
That'll take you right back out the way you came in.
Just looks cool. Definitely a cool suit. I think even just this design for Batman, the only reason it's so famous is just because of that 1989 movie. Okay.
The bat creature's in hiding. When it emerges, I'll be ready.
Penguin's trucks. Have you managed to locate any in the city?
Give a guy a chance, Bruce. Alright, there's a lot of ground to cover here.
We have the location of an APC, sir. The militia lieutenants are ramping up protection. It won't be easy.
Wouldn't be easy, sir. Actually, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna go after Riddler.
I'm going back to the orphanage. Celine is waiting.
I can only imagine what cruel game Mr. Nigma has in store for you and Miss Kyle.
Where it comes is where it goes.
Mr. Cobblepot joins us, as does Mr. Nigma. Others wait in the shadows, hungry for your downfall.
Nice wheels, detective. Let's see how fast they go.
Oh, it's a race. Fun. Oh, looks like there's an APC too. Great.
Know anything about that new guy? The one working with Scarecrow? Nothing much, except he looks like Batman. You kidding? The only thing he's missing is the cape.
This is like nail biting.
I'm going back to the orphanage. Selena's waiting.
I can only imagine what cruel game Mr. Nigma has in store for you and Ms. Kyle.
Tell me about it. Those aren't typically too difficult. You just gotta be really, really quick. Most of the time you want to start out with the Batmobile, and then you just gotta grapple boost as much as you possibly can. Make sure you don't get run into these guys on your way, and then you can pretty much finish them with ease. I hardly remember doing this one. What in the hell? Okay then. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't blame you. Those are really fun though. Those are different than Riddler trophies. I have fun doing those. Riddler trophies are just challenging. I don't even know why they were expecting this one to be hard, to be honest. It looks hard, but you actually do this one, it's a walk in the park. Holy crap, Nigma, he probably worked 4 or 5 hours on that just to make it so where you just need to power a winch up. That's interesting. Yeah, those Taskmaster challenges though, they can be really nerve-wracking, specifically the stealth challenges and stuff. But yeah, I would like to see replay on boss fights in either the new Spider-Man game or the next Batman game. Because especially Spider-Man, I'm actually surprised you can't, because that actually seems like a game you would be able to do that. I don't know, I'm glad Jedi Fallen Order you can at least do it. Kind of. I mean, they're a lot easier. I mean, you can make them harder, but it seems like what they did was they just made them a little bit more simple. Because I fought Trilla a second time from playing the story again, and she was not as hard from me practicing as she was replaying the game on New Game Plus. So I think they made them a little easier. I don't know that for sure. Maybe they're the same and might have just been New Game Plus. I don't know. Because New Game Plus is typically difficult. But you get all your stuff back. Batmobile weapons. There. Isn't there an upgrade where you can... Yeah, that's a great update for sure. I don't know, what's this upgrade? This must be the multi-target. But yeah, that Battle Grid update was really nice. It was pretty much a whole new game that players of Jedi Fallen Order got for free. And that was really good. And it actually got me back into playing the game, because I was long done playing that game. I thought maybe this summer I'd replay it, but I didn't know for sure. But then since they re-updated it and added that Battle Grid update, I actually decided to go back in and play the game on New Game Plus, mostly just to play around with the Inquisitor skin. And which I should have live streamed that, to be honest, because I haven't streamed that game. I wouldn't mind doing it eventually. I'll definitely live stream Spider-Man Miles Morales. That's definitely gonna get a stream. Yeah! That would be fun. I think the boss fights in that Avengers game could end up being really good if they just work hard enough on them. That Taskmaster boss fight looked really fun. Even though it's probably going to end up just being really easy in the end, because it's the first boss in the game. But I have hopes that it could be a little bit difficult.
That's another one of the malicious lieutenants.
And who says that this is the last time you fight him, too, in the story? He's definitely not the main villain, we know that. In fact, we don't even know if those leaked trophies are fake.
They'll be sorry now.
Yeah, I know. That game did get... you know, the funny thing is, it feels like Spider-Man took forever to come out, but this game took a lot longer.
Going back to the orphanage. Selena's waiting.
It was... I kind of forgot about it, because I thought it was going to end up just being a fighting game that I'd play for 2 weeks, and then I'd just, you know, put on my shelf and forget about. Like Injustice or Mortal Kombat, because that's typically what they are most of the time. Maybe a new update drops and I'll check it out, but most of the time I really don't ever worry about it. Don't get me wrong, I like Injustice and Mortal Kombat and stuff, but it's just I can't find a reason to play those games after launch, really. Because when does this back Riddler trophy become available? I assume with an update, an upgrade, but I don't know for sure. Yeah, and then Spider-Man Miles Morales, that comes out literally in like a couple of months. That comes out in like 6 months or something like that. Ha! Yeah, tell me about it. I got that game like pre-owned at GameStop, and whenever I played it, I thought, oh, this game's actually kind of good. It's kind of underrated. I got it while Spaghetti Lab was over at my house, and we just needed something to do, so we went to GameStop and bought it. And because this was like right before Endgame came out and stuff, so the Marvel hype was on high. And needless to say, we played it and we really liked it, and then I don't think I touched it for 3 weeks. And then he got it and he said the same thing. Because he didn't even have a PS4 yet. Oh shit, alright, this. Great. Love these.
Fanatic narcissism, egocentrism, and megalomania crossed with severe obsessive compulsion. Don't mention it.
Oh shit. Yeah. I agree on that. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was really good. Oh man, alright. You really gotta time that. Shit. I don't know. I'm excited for Injustice 3, but at the same time I'm like, how much am I gonna play it? It's gonna look really cool, and then I'm gonna want to get it, and it's just, yeah. So, like, why are all these characters, like, paid DLC when back in the day you had to actually work for these characters, and you actually, like, it'd be nice if Red Hood was, like, a secret character over, oh, pay $8, which is completely overpriced for a fighting game character, and get Red Hood. Nah, pass. Like, pre-order bonuses, they're all fake anyway. I mean, it's like, none of them are legitimate pre-order bonuses. All they are pre-order to get Shao Kahn for free, not pre-order to get Shao Kahn. It's annoying. Or pre-order to get Darkseid. No, it's pre-order to get Darkseid for free and maybe a few hours early at most. And they're gonna do the same thing in Injustice 2 or Injustice 3 as well, if that gets made. I don't know, they said Injustice 3 is not their next game, so I don't entirely know what it's gonna be. I mean, a Marvel vs. DC fighting game I actually might play for more than 2 weeks, but at the same time, I don't know. And again, fighting games are another example of games that they don't really spend much time on campaigns, and they really just work on the online. Yeah. Me neither, to be honest. They just have to make sure that they say that. Don't just make sure that it's like that. And they're like, oh, you get all these characters in the game, when in reality, no, they're all unlockable. Like, make some of them unlockable for the campaign so some of the online players have to play it. I'd get such a laugh out of that. I'd actually find that hilarious, because 90% of online players don't even play the campaigns to these games. Yeah. Okay, if we're gonna go for the overall design of the console gets a C, I'd say. It looks goofy. Like, they made it look too futuristic. If we're gonna talk about, like, the features and stuff, I think it looks nice. You know, it'll work. I'm not a fan of the controller or anything, because it kinda looks a little bit like an Xbox controller, and honestly, that was one of the reasons why I think I prefer PlayStation to Xbox, is just the controllers are smaller and they're easier to handle, if you ask me. Over, say, oh look, here's a fat controller again, you know? Just because people are, you know, they think PlayStation users are gonna prefer that. I mean, just reskin the PS4 controllers and give us a PS5, you know? It's not that difficult. I do like that they're going to include headsets and stuff with it. I like the wireless charging. I don't know if it'll be perfect or anything, but I do hope it'll have some importance towards it.
The counterweights move further when I step on the pad.
You are getting older. Maybe it's time to add a few extra notches to the utility belt.
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah, I can see that. I can see why you think that. I personally don't even get why you would think that's a good decision on a business part. And personally, it already does feel like that, depending on how stressful that moment is. Yeah, you're not wrong on that. There's just so much more I think that they could do with the PS5. I mean, all they had to do was just make it a better PS4. I mean, in a way, that's kind of what they're doing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it seems like that one leak for the new Batman game with the Batman Beyond logo was fake. Which, it honestly looked legit, and I'm kind of upset that it was fake. But at the same time, at least I think it was fake, I don't know. Hard to tell. How the hell do we do this? I hope the new Arkham game's good. I really do. I don't know what they'll do with it. Yeah. I wouldn't mind a Batman Beyond game. I really wouldn't. Huh. Alright, looks like Batman weighs more. So, which makes sense. Yeah. Oh, wait.
I mean, everything that's damaged is how it was when we first got here. I don't think things have been improved. Things just been painted.
Congratulations to the dementedly dressed duo. Your key awaits. Oh, but what's this?
Is Woofle harassing you?
What?
Is Woofle harassing you?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, we emptied all the...
You always seem like an old geezer, I will say that.
Good. You figured it out already. Well, meet the second generation of my android allies. I've built a variant specifically tailored to each of your dubious abilities.
Ow. Why did I say ow there? I had no reason to.
There's more where that came from.
Get over here.
This is a highly efficient production line.
This is what really makes the Riddler missions hard. Are these Riddler bots. After that, they're easy. But I mean, I will say the puzzles are fun. Not the trophies themselves, but the puzzles you have to do in the missions are quite fun. Yeah, I honestly, yeah, that makes sense.
Eddie really hates you, doesn't he?
He's an ego-driven narcissist who can't let anyone else win.
Gee, if only you'd met under different circumstances.
His obsession's getting worse. He's going after my allies.
Ally. After this, I think you should have back to no associate for a while.
This was nothing, Dark Knight.
Yeah, that...
Trial awaits you, Detective.
I don't know. How did Jason even get the money in the first place? It's not like he could just go into Bruce's bank account without Bruce thinking, geez, where did $1.3 billion go? Huh, I guess I'll just move on. No, Bruce Wayne wouldn't have an investigation over that. He never brings it up. So, I don't know how Jason even has this money. However, Jason, you can kind of come up with an explanation. Maybe he somehow took it out before Joker killed him, or quote-unquote killed him, which, again, I don't think would make much sense, but I would rather someone say that over Jason just had the money. But, I don't even
Escape
know.
from Iron Heights. I'll need both their key cards to bypass their security.
Not as if they could have easily left the city on a night like tonight, sir.
That would make sense. I still don't think Rocksteady is a billion-dollar company or anything. I mean, Riddler had to be at least richer than Bruce to make all this shit. Sure, it's ragtag and all that, but I mean, all these Riddler trophies, that's gotta cost them $1 million at least. Plus, all of the robots and all that. It's like, do you own a sweatshop, Nigma? Like, seriously. I get he's supposed to be a super genius and all that, but that doesn't mean, like, I don't think Bruce can make all this stuff within a couple of weeks. And just expect them to be ready by one night, you know? So, and I get he's ego-driven and stuff, but believe me, even someone's ego can't get them to work that hard. Maybe Nigma worked at a sweatshop for 18 years, and maybe he just knows how to work really hard. I don't know. Really hard and fast. However, stuff you typically get made in a sweatshop typically is at the highest of quality, so... I can't necessarily say, because I mean, how many of these drones did he make? At most, he'd make 5 or 6 of them. I doubt he rebuilds them every time they get broken. Besides, what if a thug destroys one of them? What if a thug steals a helmet or something? There's nothing you can really do about it. These guys aren't necessarily the smartest people ever. They're just gonna see, like, ooh, look, a robot. I'm gonna take the head of it. That's hilarious. That's hilarious and true, because seriously, no way in hell he could afford all this.
2 guards escaped from Iron Heights.
Unless they're literally, he has some people doing slave labor.
Not as if they could have easily left the city on a night like tonight, sir.
Oh, looks like here's a body. That I already did. Great. These are going to be probably the hardest. Just because how hard they are to find. You'd think after like 15 times playing this game, you'd think I would know all the locations to all the bodies. I still don't. Looks like they used like the gliding model from Asylum for this Batman cape. Which I'm not going to complain about because I think it looks a lot better than Knight's. Now, people complain a lot about this game still. Gameplay's better. Yeah, exactly. Why aren't the cops picking up these dead bodies? It's another point. It's like, you're just gonna leave them for Batman? What am I, your maid? I don't necessarily think so. Oh, maybe he's Maid Man now. I don't know. Batmaid. That makes sense. I don't know. Batmaid. I don't know. Yeah, I think so. Literally, there was 2 people just working on the cape alone. Yeah, I think it literally took them like 2 years to work on the cape or something like that. It took them a while. I mean, it turned out really good, though.
Okay.
That's the thing. Like, I still think the cape mechanics in Asylum and City are better than Knight's. I think Knight gets a lot of gameplay things and detail things a lot better than the first 2 games. Obviously not story by any means, because there's just a shit ton of plot holes in this game. I mean, there's a lot of plot holes in all these games, but Knight especially. I don't really like this game for its story as much as I like the game for just the graphics and the gameplay. Because it's still, like, gliding around the city and beating up thugs is still a really fun thing you can do in this game.
The Iron Heights Guard
I think it has the most content out of all 4 of the games. If I'm correct. I don't know. City has more Riddler trophies, though. The maps are around the same size, it's just City's got more buildings you can explore that are a lot larger. Alright, well, the Iron Hearts guides. Yeah, they really just made him pretty much a side mission villain in this game. Especially because before, I want to say either Origins, maybe before Night, he was probably my favorite Batman villain, so it's kind of, and he's still probably my second favorite. And I still really like the character, and it kind of angers me that he was pretty much wasted in this game. He really isn't the main villain as much as he's just the guy who's causing the chaos. He's more like a physical, he's more like, oh, we gotta find some excuse to bring Joker back, and we really don't want to say he's alive, so we'll just say, oh, Scarecrow caused it. And, let that be the end of the day, because we still want Joker to be the main villain, because we want the finale to be Batman literally defeating the Joker. As, again, how I see it, it's pretty much like a Star Wars trilogy, think about it. First one's pretty good. Has its issues, isn't perfect by any means. The second one is amazing and one of the greatest movies or games of all time. And then the third one is probably the worst in the trilogy, but still decent, I guess. Lots of plot holes, and most importantly, it's the hero overcoming the villain. So, for example, the hero loses to the villain in the first one. Yeah.
One of the guards didn't make it. Notify Cat. Get the body picked up.
That was a very scary moment for a superhero game back in the day.
When you're done.
It is a horrifying moment in that game. It's probably my favorite scene in that game is the whole Killer Croc thing. And I hate what they did to Croc in this game. I mean, Croc is another mainstay in the series. I think he's one of the only characters that's in all 4 games. There's a handful of characters that are, but those are pretty much the mainstays. There's all the characters that are in all 4 games are Batman, Joker, Riddler, Harley Quinn, Killer Croc, kind of, because he is in the story of this game. Technically, he shows up at the end. Bane could have been part of that, because again, he probably should have been in this game, if you ask me, some way, shape, or form, as a side mission over, let's go rescue the missing firefighters. Nah, you're just basically just trying to find a good way for us to basically go beat up some random thugs on the street, which is something we would never have done while we were doing side missions. I see where you're coming from, Rocksteady. You could have just had a quick little Bane boss fight. Maybe Bane's causing chaos in the city. You go after Bane real quick. Basically just reskin the Asylum boss fight. And you're golden. Besides, this game is really lacking boss fights anyway, so I don't know. He should have totally been in Season of Infamy, if you ask me. And I thought Season of Infamy was pretty good for the most part. I mean,
What took you?
they all should have been side missions that were already in the base game, and they could have totally cut out some of those filler side missions. Like the firefighter missions and stuff.
The security door below is unlocked. We can head deeper into the airship.
Keep the giant man-eating
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I think the ending of this game is done really well, but it doesn't fix the plot of the game that they really just didn't have straightforward. And I feel like there were some people that are like, oh, we want to have Joker in this game really bad, and they're like, well, we can't because he's dead. It's like, but we should. And like, alright, yeah, sure, Joker's probably gonna give us more sales, and also he's the most popular Batman villain, and also Rocksteady thinks he's the only Batman villain worthy of being the main villain. Yeah, I agree. I think they definitely wrote it first.
Try to guilt you into using your mortgage.
They could have totally wrote it in advance, because even in Arkham City, there's and this is something I was speculating when I first played Arkham City. Right where you find the chalk lane of Bruce's parents in Crime Alley, it literally says it will end where it began, and that was my biggest speculation, that Arkham Knight's ending would take place in Arkham Asylum. And I literally feel like they wrote the ending to this game back then. They're like, oh, well, we'll have Joker kind of mess with Batman's head. Because I think a lot of the internet also thought Scarecrow was going to probably be the main villain of this game anyway, because all the evidence that were proving it, and also in Arkham City, there's a lot of Scarecrow Easter eggs, such as the Arkham Asylum Easter eggs, except it just isn't nearly as good and hard to find. But, you know, I mean, this totally could have been Scarecrow's game, and they really just didn't make it that. I think the other thing that upsets me is that this really could have been the ultimate Batman game, and they just didn't include all the necessary villains and side missions, and instead they decided for, hey, let's go for, you know, firefighter mission. I can't think of any side missions currently. You know, I think that Deacon Blackfire side mission was shoehorned in. Yeah, he should have just been the side villain of that game. Yeah, good point there, Jake. The graphics are fantastic, and I still think they're probably the best graphics on modern gen. I don't know if anybody will agree with me on that statement, but the graphics are spectacular, and it blew me away when I first played it. Especially if you make the graphics on fully dark, the game is beautiful. However, it's really hard to play. However, if you're just free roaming and stuff, it's really worth it. Yeah, it is just like Spider-Man 3. There's literally 3 different main villains to this game. There's Joker, which is pretty much the main villain. There's Scarecrow, who's the physical threat, and then there's Arkham Knight, which is pretty much just the bronze, who is more of a puppet, but is portrayed as the main villain for most of the game. Even though they still say, oh, but don't forget about Scarecrow, he's in charge of this whole operation. Yeah, Red Dead's a really beautiful game for sure. This game is really close to Red Dead, if you ask me. I think all the character models look really nice in this game. I think the world is definitely nicer looking than Red Dead, if you ask me. But where Red Dead gets it right is the snow. I have watched someone play Arkham VR before. I see. All right, I need to pause the game just to bring this up. Arkham VR wasn't an Arkham Knight situation where I felt like I had to buy the console to play the game and really enjoy it. Arkham VR, I watched the gameplay of it, and I really thought that it just wasn't for me, really. It felt like an Arkham Knight game. It felt like an Arkham Knight side mission, but at the same time, it didn't make much sense. And I honestly feel like what it was just a Arkham Knight what if universe. Yeah, I think the game was $20 if I'm correct. Yeah, I really hate how they killed off Nightwing in that. And also it just doesn't make sense because it's supposed to be before Arkham Knight. So I believe that it's just like a nightmare or something, but I don't know. Yeah, I agree with that. I will say the graphics are really nice for a VR game. Mostly because they're using the Arkham Knight character models. Except for Alfred. I'd love to play it, but I don't own a VR. Again, Jake does, and my friend Carter does. So next time I'm at one of their houses, I'll probably play it if I can. I know Carter typically always has it hooked up, so I might play it if he has it. Yeah, that's what I thought, because it just wouldn't make any sense. Especially, it would make sense if it was Dick that got killed, because he's Bruce's favorite, so I don't think he wants to admit it, but it's true. So, well, it's either Dick or Barbara. Probably Dick, because he knew him the longest. Yeah. Tell me about it. I don't know what they did with Croc. Did they really make him gain like 4,000 pounds? Actually, no, because he looked heavier in, I don't know what game. I mean, he was like buff in the last two games, and they made him like overweight and stuff. It's just, I don't know what they did with Croc. They made him look really weird. At the same time, it's like, did Croc just not go on a diet for a couple of months and decided to mutate into a reptile? I don't know. I prefer Croc's look in the first two Arkham games, and we really never had a legitimate boss fight against that Croc, and I would have liked to see that. Do I have anybody incarcerated in here yet? No, actually, surprisingly, I've only finished Season of Infamy missions, I think. Really need to finish. Oh, you're a good Croc.
Wayland Jones and the Warden of Iron Heights are behind bars, sir. Good work.
I'm gonna, you know, for the rest of this episode, I'm gonna look for corpses and Riddler trophies. Corpses and Riddler trophies. You know what? That's gonna be the thumbnail title of this video. Is corpses and Riddler trophies.
You don't have to do anything. Start it over.
Ah, that comment number's great. Yeah, he was a really frightening character in both Arkham games, because in the first one his segment was terrifying, and then in City he just had a really good jump scare. Oh, he had like a stroke. That guy just had like a mini stroke right there. Where is he? Where is he?
Riddler, tell me everything.
Hey, bro, hey. Where is he? Oh shit! All right. Hey, bro. Hey. Yeah, this guy literally just ran over and murdered the Riddler informant, so I couldn't even get him to talk. All right, I see how he is. Now I gotta. Not only do I gotta capture this guy for working for a private military crime company, I also gotta arrest this guy for manslaughter. Thank you very much. What is he? It's sad because that's like the most memorable part of those movies, and it sucks. Well, other than Heath Ledger, and it sucks because those movies are so good. So those are probably my favorite movies of all time. I gotta say, there are some of them for sure. I don't know. The original Star Wars trilogy is up there. Infinity War's also up there for sure. Endgame's up there too. It's not really about the quality of the writing of Endgame, it's just more just how fun that movie is. And the experience of watching that in theaters is like no other. And I could never experience something ever like that unless it was my own movie. Unless it was my own movie and it was as big as Endgame. Which, take it, the whole Hellseeker film series that I'm writing, which is a comic book character I created. The ending to that series would be a big Endgame-like event. It would probably have just as many characters in that finale. If so, but at the same time, I don't think it'll ever be as successful if I do make it. But, you know. Yeah, we still need to see the Defenders in movies. Yeah. Yeah, I created it probably 2 years ago, I'd say. I have the whole series pretty much finished. Same time. I have an idea to make it into movies and all that. It's a very violent and gritty comic book series. Yes. It is very epic, I will agree with that, thank you. Oh yeah, like that's legal, just hanging up a dead body on the side of the street. Alright. Yeah, you see that every day.
Alfred, I found a pivot.
Jeez, even in East St. Louis you don't see that shit. My St. Louis viewers will get it, I tell you that. If Jake is still here, he'll find that hilarious.
That
But,
the pigmentation of the skin denotes a chemical burn. Most likely
like seriously, just driving down the street, boom, dead body, right there. No cops doing shit about it, anything. They'll just, oh, better call Batman. Batman can investigate the crime to see who did it. Yeah, sure, he's world's greatest detective. You don't just want to leave a corpse there. Dear God, at least take it into like a paramedic's office, see if you can resuscitate the person. No, just leave him to die. That's better option. Yeah.
That piece of evidence has been identified. I need to keep looking.
Yeah, just leave them to die, even though you could probably resuscitate them if they were, I don't know, tortured and shit. Like, it's hard to tell. Obviously I don't know, because I'm not a police officer or anything, but at the same time, if I was, I don't think I would just leave a body on the side of the road. I might have to talk with Jim after this.
Oh, it says right here. Purchaser should take possession of the property.
There's something right there. What the hell? Is that bone fragmentation or is that... It really all of the above, to be honest. I would say it's more or less a Spawn, I would say Deadpool and Batman mixed together, I'd say. The character of Hellseeker is a mercenary who cracks some jokes, but he's more of a serious Deadpool, if anything. And he ends up finding a lot of other superhumans on the way, because he's also a superhuman, but he has multiple personalities, and sometimes whenever he just kinda snaps, and whenever he goes crazy and uses his second personality is in charge, he pretty much kills everything, and he accidentally killed a lot of his previous friends. However, he meets a lot of these people that he fought against, a pretty much Deathstroke ripoff, which was a guy who he had to assassinate earlier in the comic book. Meets them, they kind of start working together, and that's pretty much the beginning of his family. You know, he also on these missions he meets a younger, like a teenager who ends up kind of becoming a son to him. He finds a girlfriend. He finds, you know, some of his closest friends he meets on his journey to where basically his final showdown with his father, who is involved with all of his abilities. Oh, I drew some of it too, but I mostly wrote the story. I haven't drawn the entire thing out yet. I still have like 3 comics to write, to completely draw and write down and stuff, but I have it all in my brain. And then I have the first 3 completely written out, except the artwork changes a lot. Like, first book looks terrible, the second one looks alright, third one looks decent, and then the fourth one's gonna end up looking amazing, so I don't know. Because I've been practicing a lot of my arc skills lately, and I've made it from my Hellseeker character to kind of just look like, make it look from, you know, scribbles to literally artwork. So I don't know how good it's gonna look by the finale. I might show it off in one of the a video, actually. That is a good idea for a video. If Jake is still here, he's seen it, so he can describe it. But it's a very gruesome series. If I were to make it to screen, I would have to... I'd have to dull down the violence a lot, because it's a very bloody series. He uses the same weapons as Deadpool: machine guns, pistols, and swords. But he also has necromancing abilities and a slight healing factor, except he can't save his life or anything like that. He just kind of... He can heal himself, but it's nothing like where if he gets stabbed through the completely through the chest, he's done. AKA, I pretty much just wrote that healing factor as plot convenience. I didn't really... and mostly just to draw parallels for Deadpool. One day, if I ever get the rights to, I would love to have, I'd love to have him fight Batman or Deadpool.
The Bat's been in control for too long. It's about time we turn the tables on that freak.
Well, you just gotta realize that it can always be different. Just use your creativity and kind of run with it. It's not as hard as some people think. You just kind of have to... To be honest, a lot of the story arcs and stuff I take from video games and movies and stuff. All you gotta do is just, I don't know, watch a movie or whatever and think about it for a bit, and something you really like, if you think it can fit really well into a comic book, it probably could. Just try to change it up a bit, and it's typically fine. Like, a lot of the books I wrote, like, it started from, like, an easy GTA 5 knockoff / Venom knockoff to a pretty much a heist action movie with symbiotes. So, I mean, it really depends. The third one's still my least favorite, though, even though it's still original for what it is. And honestly, it probably has the most creative plot, even though it's still my least favorite in the series. Just because I don't like how that plot turned out, and how the story just turned up is just ghastly, and just, I don't know, the plot twist was kind of shoehorned in there just to make sure it was kind of a part 1 to a part 2 deal to a finale. I think they'd be good movies, though. At least I have a feeling they would be. So you just, really what I would recommend is just paying attention. Well, I brought it up. Again, his girlfriend character is inspired by a lot of characters from movies and TV shows and stuff. And that's another big part of the books. I tried making it less important, but I don't know if it is or not. It's definitely an aspect to the story. It's not that bad. Okay, it's in the story, but it's not as like it's a big part of the third one, but I can't say it's as important later on. I mean, you gotta have that shit in there too. It can't all be blood and guts and shit. I'm a softie sometimes, I just hide it. It's still mostly badass material with lots of violence. There's even a Joker knockoff that shows up later that kind of takes the main villain role, which is probably one of my favorite characters I created because he's still different and he's not someone who finds all of their crimes funny as if he just really just can't laugh. Also, his design is really unique. He's got like red hair with regular eyes, and then he wears a mask which is just a smiley face, but underneath he has literally a smile carved into his face, and then later on his jaw just falls off because how much it rots. No one knows who that man is still to this day. I don't even know his identity. Even if someone were to ask me. I've came up with many ideas of who it could be. In fact, I even wrote a story on it, but it's a Joker situation where the backstory is multiple choice. He's not a clown, really. He's just creepy. Which sure, clowns are creepy, but there's a difference there. He's closer to Joker than he is a clown. But I would say more or less he's a darker character, a sympathetic character. And then his story pretty much ends. He just gets too much power and he ends up getting killed from that same reason. Even though that's pretty much Hellseeker's entire destiny is that power, because it's his father's, who can't be killed per se. He just can be erased from time. Still, I'd say Hellseeker is the most irresponsible superhero slash anti-hero. Thank you. The thing is, if you're gonna have the series take place through years and years, no way in hell his jaw is gonna stay on for that long. If his mouth is cut open so far, within 5 years, it's gonna rot away, so eventually it's just gonna fall off, and he's not even gonna have a jaw anymore. So, I figured for at least for the final chapter, which I call Doomsday Clock, it features pretty much a jawless psycho, this is his name, and he just is horrifying. No pun intended. No pun intended.
Divinity Church. Riddler won't give up Alpha. His pride will let him.
The name is more or less just a saying for he'll pretty much ride or die until he gets an answer to why he's this powerful and why he is the way he is. And he's willing to get killed while doing it. And that's why his name is Hellseeker, because he knows he's a bad person, and he knows that If there is one, he's going to hell. So that's where he gets the name from, is he's really seeking it, if anything. So that's where it comes from. I'd like to think this is in the Batman universe. I don't really know what universe it would be in, though. Oh, wow. Okay, I guess I'm ready to get killed. There's a Tiger King over there. Alright, grapple, 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 Bruce, grapple.
I'm headed to Divinity Church. Riddler won't give up, Alfred. His pride won't let him.
You won't break his spirits, huh? I'm very confident.
Oh, this is a racetrack. I can't do that. So I guess I do have to regress to the story, huh?
One of the missing fire crew is being held near Grand Avenue Station. I'm going
Can't do that yet.
Plan your attack, sir. Multiple sentry gun placements have been detected.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I can't leave the militia.
I would just say that it's a simple story, and I see potential in it. Thanks. Yeah, a lot of people say it's really good, so I'm thinking that it'll. But yeah, it's an entire story arc of good. I mean, there is no good. That's the thing. Everyone's horrible. Even I came up with a Superman knockoff that's deliberately a Superman knockoff, which I don't have a name for him yet. And pretty much, he's supposed to be portraying as the good guy, and he's slandering Hellseeker and all of his allies. But really, this guy is just doing it for attention. In fact, he's more brutal than them. So, which I figured I'll probably shoehorn him into the finale, and then he's going to end up getting mind controlled or something, and it's going to be his downfall in the end. But even the people that and really the lesson there is, even the people that appear to be really good might actually be horrible people. Even worse than some of the people that you know are bad. So, that's kind of the lesson there. Not everyone looks good. Just because they look good in the public eye doesn't necessarily mean they're amazing people in real life. So that's his story pretty much. Again, I don't know his name or anything, but I really like that idea. Could even be a twisted Batman versus Superman if you really wanted to do that. Oh, yeah. I mean, they have similar abilities, except they're still different. And to be honest, I could answer that question in a few words. Spawn would kick Hellseeker's ass. That's a fact. Hellseeker has superpowers, but he doesn't know how to use them. If anything, they're a handicap, because whenever he is trying to do something, he ends up killing someone that he doesn't want to kill. So if anything, he uses his abilities and his intelligence, even though he still has a guy in the chair and stuff, because he isn't a genius and he doesn't know everything. He just knows some stuff, because he can't be too overpowered. But his handicap is more or less his psychotic personality, because that could tick off whenever his bloodlust is too low. And then he's pretty much screwed otherwise. It's that or something traumatic happens to him. Yeah, death battles, well, the thing is, it doesn't matter at all who would win because it's more or less up to the writer. It has nothing to do with, like, it really just has to do with the story you want to be told. Most of the time, Batman beats Superman because they want to show off his intelligence, not because it would actually happen realistically. So whenever people were like, oh my god, Batman's gonna win Batman v Superman, well, you're more predicting what the plot's gonna be, not who would actually win the fight. So here, take it, I could write Hellseeker winning due to his intelligence and his allies. However, if we're gonna talk realistically here, Hellseeker could easily lose to Spawn. So I can't explain at all how they would do it, but if you ask me, it really doesn't matter because nobody's gonna know because it just relies on the writer. Could have to do with bias. I mean, very well, Zack Snyder could have been he might just be a bigger Batman fan than a Superman fan, so he had Batman win that movie. Simple. If I was going to write a comic book with Todd McFarlane, we'd probably have some conflict there because he's going to want Spawn to win, I'm going to want Hellseeker to win, so why don't you just make a compromise? Since we can't decide on it, we'll just make a compromise and just say, hey, let's have it be kind of a tie. Maybe we'll have Hellseeker get a really close victory, but it'll still be different. And it'll still be like, oh, he's gonna lose. Or technically it was Hellseeker's loss because he was the villain in the story. It all depends on that.
I swear on my sister's grave, I will win this war, Dark Knight. It's up to you how long it rages.
Well, at least you know that in, I don't know, 18, 15, 20 years, if you see that come in movie theaters near you or comic shops, wherever, you at least know who made it. That's a fact. Versus movies and versus battles are always ties, mostly just due to, oh, we can't decide on who would win. Oh, that's a good question, actually. I have some people developing it currently. It should be out by next year, I'd say. It's got so many pay-to-win elements. It's got, charge tax, which will help you win the game in 30 seconds and automatically get the top score for only 99 cents. So keep buying those so you can top your score each time. Now, I would never do corporate sellouts, but I know that companies would probably want to push it. And again, me saying I will never do it doesn't mean it's never going to happen. There may be a shitty Hellseeker mobile game out there. I don't know. If the studio lets me go for an R rating, though, you probably won't see that shit. It's a gritty story, though, so I don't know why they would want me to go PG-13. Yes. Pay $6 for Hellseeker's left leg, and it'll help you actually run. Except that's a genius idea right there. $1 million idea. I'd say the only thing I would sell the rights out to would probably just be action figure companies, because I collect action figures and I would really like to see my characters get made as action figures. So I think if anything, that would be the only reason I would sell the character out to anyone, will be that. just worry that if I sell it out to the wrong company, they'll give it too less articulation, and they won't spend a high enough budget. Because that's a character that would need a lot of articulation to work as a figure. Give him like 20 guns, that'd be awesome. Nowadays, that won't happen. I have no idea. I haven't been to my library in 6 years, probably. I don't know. It might. I doubt it. It's not like I live in a big city or anything.
Sir, Nissa was always the most reasonable member of the family. But do you trust her?
I do.
And are you prepared to end a life for her, sir?
I probably could. I think at most I'll probably see if I can buy a second Legends Taskmaster, and I think I could probably paint it up and make a tactical armor Hellseeker. He actually, I'm actually Tinkercad. I'll have to look for that.
What would you do?
I don't know.
I like him asking. I know it's unrelated. I like seeing him ask Alfred, what would you do? Because that shows that it's his father figure. I like that aspect of the character. I think at most, though, I'd probably just go for a Taskmaster figure. I actually did kind of make a custom, where what I did was pop the head on the Ronin body, or pop a Crossbones head on the Ronin body. Yeah, Alfred's a really important character they don't use enough. They just kind of use him as Batman's bitch when that's not him.
Defenses against rebel attacks.
How considerate of them, sir.
Come on, I just did this like a couple of months ago. Yeah, it was a really good figure. My Ronin, though, has like a broken leg. Like, it came basically with a leg that was stuck in place, so I really can't pose it around or anything, but if I could, that'd be a really cool figure to pose around with. And I might actually have to buy a second Ronin just for that reason. I mean, I like the unmasked head for Crossbones anyway, so I wouldn't mind doing that. Oh, okay. I might see if I can do that.
I can't do that at this time.
Actually, might be a good idea.
I can't do that yet.
Huh. Yeah, I agree. I might tamper around with that. Oh yeah, I seen that. Someone do that before. Yeah, that's definitely a good idea. Yeah, I watch him a lot. It's definitely a really good Legends figure, and it looks really nice. I have him displayed with the Hawkeye head sculpt on from that 2-pack, just because, well, I need a Hawkeye on my shelf because I don't own any Hawkeyes. But if I can find one, I'll probably get a second one, because it's technically 2 characters, so. And I really like Ronin as a character.
I'm not doing this for you.
unlike Batman to kill Raish. Even though when I first played this, I obviously chose kill Raish just because you gotta do that, man. That'd just be sick. So edgy. Nah. That's not Bruce. That's not like Bruce. No matter who said to kill Raish, he would never do it. They're like the choice. I mean, either way, Raish survives, so it really doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't know. I wish in the either 10th anniversary or 80th anniversary line they would have included a Hawkeye from the movies. I don't know.
Why?
I think it's just because people find him boring.
I'm no killer.
But he has some of the
You
best
think
writing
that
in the
means there's
movies.
no blood on your hands?
And even if he isn't exactly too exciting, still.
Daughter.
Yeah.
Traitor.
Tell me about it. Even if Hawkeye isn't the coolest Avenger with looks, he's still an important character, and still, I think people need figures of him. I mean, I own at least 2 figures of each Avengers character except Hawkeye. So I don't exactly know. Yeah, I actually, thinking of that, now thinking about that message, I think what it should have been was, you can pick whatever you want, but you still get this option anyway.
Raish killed for his cause. I never will.
Exactly.
Stupid fool. That's why she left you.
I probably should, yeah, because I think he'd be a really well-developed character, especially because he is well-developed in a lot of comics and stuff. And he is likable, too. It's always bow wielders that always get the shaft, but are always well-developed, I've noticed.
Thank you.
Sir, if I may, police reports suggest that the rebel faction is abandoning Gotham in droves. Raish, meanwhile, will be recuperating from some time. You averted war.
Alright.
The scan has triangulated an APC. Troop numbers indicate you've taken out half the senior brass already. Time to tip the balance in your favor.
Yeah, I mean, half is better than nothing, I guess. That's not something really to get excited about, Alfred, but better than nothing. Kind of pisses me off I can't do any Riddler missions until I do the next, until I unlock the, until I let the Batmobile on the Founder's Island, which I think is like the next mission anyway. So I've actually done a lot already for this game. I think I'm like 50% through. I'm like 10 hours into the game, so into this walkthrough. I swear, there's gonna be one episode that's just Riddler trophies, and it's gonna be boring as hell. But I'll try to see if I can make the commentary as funny as possible, so at least make it entertaining. I'll definitely do commentary with that video, because at least I can probably get something out of it over. Hey, let's just sit and watch some dude collect Riddler trophies in a very unprofessional manner. Then, you know, that'll get millions of views for sure. It's not exactly like this is Grand Theft Auto 5 and it's me collecting peyote plants. It's Batman Arkham Knight, a game that came out. I mean, GTA 5 is older, but GTA 5 is still trending. So it's the PlayStation on days of play. Yeah, $30 is a great deal. If you load up Battlefront, you'll get like a 40% off bonus too if you get it through Battlefront. I think 20% off, something like that. I know that whole GTA 5 console reveal thing, it made it look like it was going to be like Bully 2 or GTA 6, and it's just GTA 5 again. It's like, come on. This game's like 8 years old already. I think we're honestly sick of GTA 5 by now. The campaign is amazing, don't get me wrong, but dear God. It's like, I don't think that many people really like GTA Online that much. I mean, the kids do. It's like the modern day Call of Duty. If you don't play Fortnite, then you probably play GTA. Or you play both. I mean, I at least play GTA and kind of enjoy it. Fortnite's different. Yeah, it went from Grand Theft Auto to Fast and the Furious in a couple of years. Just gotta add Vin Diesel to the game. And Paul Walker. Can't forget Paul Walker. When I see you again, oh, can't forget Paul Walker. I don't know. If they add a GTA 5, if they make a Fast and the Furious video game, then I can definitely tell you it's gonna be fat. It's gonna be GTA 5 just reskinned. That's a fact. I don't know what the hell, what else they could do with that crazy ass franchise. I mean, it just went from street races to I don't even know what. You know, they should do crossovers like that. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. I don't know. I'm hoping that August 22nd or whatever date in August live stream is gonna end up showing something. I hope. We'll see. We will see. Oh crap, I crashed. You don't text and drive. Kids, that's what happens when you text and drive. I shouldn't say kids, probably because people are gonna think YouTube's gonna think this video is made for kids. Even though how many vulgarities are here and this is an M-rated game, they're still gonna think, oh, it's made for kids because he said kids once. Man, YouTube these days, it's more like a really bad Netflix. Alright, I'm just gonna let this guy run off. No way I'm gonna catch him. But act like I'm Joe Swanson and go, Ray, I shouldn't be a cop. Ray. Yes. Just because stuff is comic book related has nothing to do with it made for kids, though. That's a fact. Just because stuff that is usually geared towards kids is not made for kids doesn't mean you should riot. So, I don't know what you're thinking. But it clearly isn't sensical. I can tell you that. There's a reason why ESRB doesn't call it for kids. It's E for everyone, because it's more for everyone, if anything. You know, this game isn't even E for everyone, so I don't even know what they're thinking there. It's a mature rated game.
I told Kevin that he can look through their can't get legal opinion unless the properties are in the court. I only know general law and
The hell do you do this, exactly? What are you supposed to do here? Dear God. Maybe Riddler has some sensical. I mean, I don't. Why wouldn't he? Random thug on the street. Huh? I mean, seriously, like, why not? You know, I don't think YouTube wants me to get into details, but I mean, why wouldn't you? That's the thing. I mean, that's a video all into itself. Quite a diverse game. I mean, this game's got gay thugs. That's a step. That's definitely very innovative. Who knew?
Oh, you want to catch up on your friends?
Yes, please. I gotta end this video with me finding one Riddler trophy. I gotta do that. The one that got away. Actually, Firefly got away on one of my streams too. That's another sad one. Thank you. Yes, please. By God, these man's gotta be dead. I mean, they're probably gonna survive, though, knowing how slow the Batmobile is. Dear God, Lucius. Yep. Where's my convoy at? Dear God. I'm driving a bigger tank than he is. I have more money than Jason, so where's my convoy at? Come on. I think I'm gonna have to fire Lucius after this. Yep. See if I can take it out myself. If in those Riddler missions, if Bruce can turn off having the ability to have to charge, why don't he just turn it off for the rest of the game, especially for these? What are those ramps for if they're just gonna make me go farther from them? Alright. Whatever.
The APC got away.
The League of Assassins stuck blades through hearts. Now they impale each other's heart.
Look at a mess. There's some kind of fight going on over here.
Alright, we're gonna get literally a Riddler trophy, not just a riddle. Alright, let's go to this over in Bristol. Bristol. Sounds like a bad name for a dog. Bristol. Bristol. Or maybe a ghetto crystal? Maybe? My name is Bristol. crystal, but it's Bristol. That's an Irish accent Scarecrow uses if you're talking about Scarecrow. Okay, there we go. I think there's a riddle over here too. Anyways, that has been the 5th episode of Batman Arkham Knight. We'll be continuing probably tomorrow. I don't know. If for some reason I continue tonight, looks like you got 3 episodes in a day, but this is probably just a special occasion to probably 1 to 2 streams a day. Anyway, we are getting closer and closer to our goal. Actually, I'm going to check how far we are through the game. 48%. Okay then. Yeah, 48%. That isn't bad. Not bad at all. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Bye.